Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors. With former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by Ep Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
Yes, welcome into the locker room here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are here on Thursday, ready to roll. Mikey Daniel is out today, but Chancellor Brewington in. And again, no shortage of headlines heading into USC week for Nebraska.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mikey Daniel is out, but I'm Chancellor Brewington. You listen to the locker room on 93.7 The Ticket. Me and Bach going to take it today. Starting off with a quote card. Mikey usually got it, but I got it today. This is by Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard is probably one of my favorite philosophers, honestly, authors as well. It says, if you will assume your desire and live there as though it were true, no power on earth can stop it from becoming a fact. And I was just having a conversation with someone earlier today about desiring something. And then, he was saying to me, like, people, around his circle were saying that it was wrong for him to have a certain desire. And I was like, this type of stuff frustrates me because I know that each one of us has desires. Each one of us, something inside of us, you can call it power, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Something inside of us is always for expansion and fuller expression. It's always trying to grow. That's why some people feel frustrated with their at. Why? Because there's something inside you that wants to grow. And so, your desire, assuming the desire, feeling the desire, it's amazing stuff. I'll definitely have a book review from Neville coming up, but we got some interesting stuff to talk about today, Bach. I was driving here and I was thinking, I'm like, okay, where should we go with this? Right. And I think the perfect thing the thing that popped in my mind was this Raiola situation. And, maybe some people don't see it like this, but being a former player, this is the locker room. So we provide a perspective from a player. I mean, if I was Raiola, there would have to be a lot of check marks and checklists that needs to happen this season and this off season for me to come back. And obviously this is my personal opinion, and obviously I'll get yours, and I would love to hear the people's as well. But if you're a first overall, not first overall, but the first choice or first top talent in the high school class, recruitment class, and you got an offense that's really struggling, not a lot of pieces around you. You got a receiver here, receiver there, O-line problems here. Of course, you got your family member coaching as well. But there's definitely some question marks there, and I'll definitely open the floor up. But what do you think, just on the outside looking in, of course, like, what do you think about this Raiola situation? Some people say, like, this Holgorsen might have saved him and might have kept him, like, it shows that Rule's really looking to really sharpen his game. Get an air raid guy that kind of fits his style, fits his play style. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think along those lines. I think that was one always disconnect for me with trying to get Raiola, and when they did get him, was like, man, they must have sold him on Coach Sat. And I thought that, maybe if you're looking at the top quarterback in the nation, he might be particularly interested in who his offensive coordinator is going to be. And so, this, I get it. I mean, and I do get the other side of it. He's a Raiola. Maybe would stick around. They've got the family project kind of going on here at Nebraska altogether. But he's going to get calls, and he's going to, and naturally you're going to think, you would think that when he committed here that he understood that this is going to be a build, a bit of a build. And so you would hope that he wouldn't be distracted by, outside callers, but you're getting reports. There's just a report now about Washington State's quarterback. He's not in the portal. He's starting. He's having a good season. And there's reports that he's getting $1 million offers. So it's going to happen to any quarterback that's having any success or looks like they have any upside. And I would think you'd have to factor it in as the NIL era kind of brings in what we kind of once thought about pro sports is, you know, that's your jersey color. That's who you are. We love you. But now with free agency, which is, you know, well built in now, we understand you kind of look out for yourself first and not as much team loyalty. It's probably going to start hitting college football and already has quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny you say that, talking about the Washington State quarterback. Back in my day, that sounds crazy, but in Northern Arizona, before I came to Nebraska, where NIL was, you know, it was rumors that it might happen, but you know, the might happen was like, you know, 10 to 15 years down the road. Like, you know, NCAA was not going for it. This is like 2018.
Yeah.
I remember one of our, you know, veteran receiver, he's been there for like 4 or 5 years, was getting, you know, some offers from Baylor mid-season, right? Mid-season from Baylor, Oregon State, wanted him to, you know, come and hit the portal and this and this. And, you know, even the school that I was at, like, they was doing their little thing financially, whatever, with some of the players, right? And so it just, you know, and now you look back, now it's happening everywhere, right? And, you know, you've had guys come out, you know, Georgia, Alabama, always SEC, you know, Cam Newton said he, you know, the money man came and saw him when he was at Florida, right? Like, we've seen this time after time. And I know one thing for sure, people are seeing his talent. People see the talent. The talent is undeniable. You go and turn on an Indiana game where, you know, it was a rough performance, only put up 7 points, and you see flashes of, you know, first round talent. Like, yeah, this is undeniable. You know, clean up here. Even in a Rutgers game where, you know, there's some questionable throws, UCLA game, questionable throws. You look at the tape, you're like, this dude pops off. Like, he pops off the tape. He does really, really good things. So that kind of brings up the question. First of all, Holgorsen and him have to match. They have to match, because if there's a, you know, if Holgorsen, you know, does this, and this, and all of a sudden, you know, Raiola doesn't mix with it. Because I think I'll say this again, I think Rhule's philosophy in getting Holgorsen is, I need to get a guy that fits my quarterback. And, you know, that's the most important piece. That's the most important piece now. And it's the most important piece for the next, you know, 3.5 years, if he's going to stay, of course. You know, obviously you want to win. Nebraska fans want Rhule to win. Nebraska fans want Nebraska to win, not so much Rhule. But they, you know, you want this program to do good. And by doing good, you want as much retention from your top players as possible. And I think that's one of the concerns for me personally, just knowing what just knowing, you know, guys are young. Guys are, you know, 18, 19, not specifically talking about anyone, but guys are young. You know, they'll say, you know, man, like, you know, my cousin played at Florida and they were just talking to him and saying that, you know, I would get $100K out there. It happens throughout every locker room you ever been in, and on every sport. I don't know about baseball. I know for sure basketball and football. It happens everywhere. So you just got to make sure you get these pieces. But, you know, I was talking about before the show, you want to maximize, if you're Raiola, you know, or just a top player in the nation, your freshman year, you really want to assess your situation and say, I want to get the best and the most out of my college career. And if it's not Nebraska, it's kind of like a no hard feelings thing. And I play at Nebraska. I understand, like, the whole, you know, bleed red and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, if whatever is going on isn't going to fit you and isn't going to get you to where you want to go, you got to have these tough conversations. And that's, you know, people don't want to talk about it. You know, people just want to say, yeah, we'll just get them next year and whatever. But the reality is that these guys, and me and Mikey talk about it, these guys have 4 years to play this game. 4 years. I remember my last year at Nebraska, you know, everyone, you know, I remember people were like, yeah, you got another year, you'll get another red shirt for a broken wrist, whatever. And they didn't give it to me. Right. Mm-hmm. And right then it was like, it was over. That is what it is. And so when, you know, younger guys, little cousins, whatever, come up to me and say, you know, what should I be focused on? Focus on yourself. You know, the team thing is awesome. And you get outside of college football and you realize, wow, it's not really like a brainwash, but they condition you to think certain stuff that isn't really what it is. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you perfect your game, perfect your mind, perfect your craft, perfect your belief system, all these different things, your game will soar and your teammates will get better, right? But sometimes college, I've been in so many programs where they make you think about, the circle instead of just, you at the end of the day is the most important piece. And this isn't selfish by no means, because for the whole chain of operation to work, everyone has to be focused on themselves. And I guess the question for the people is, if you were in Raioula's shoes and, the thing isn't fitting you, let's say, the people are at a job, right? And the job just isn't fitting them. You can prosper somewhere else. Would you just stay? Why? Why would you stay? I think why would you stay?
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, he's going to have to make that decision. But I know one thing about just what I see from the outside is really good support system. Seems like he has a really good support system. But we got USC this weekend. And I think if this offense makes a jump, a lot of things will change. I think the excitement around the city will be different. I would say the criticism of the coaching staff will calm down. And I think a lot of things can change.
Well, and it's crazy too. I mean, you potentially, I mean, we're going into this week, and I've thought before, like, what if you beat UCLA? Maybe it wouldn't have been better long term for the program, because you might keep Sat around and
oh wow,
whatever it might be. So some of these things could happen for a reason, but it has been with 2 weeks, kind of just sitting on feeling like the ultimate doldrums of Nebraska football. Yet you're 1 win away, and you have 3 chances left to have your best record that you've had in 8 years. So it's just It's crazy how quickly things can turn around. If Nebraska does beat UCLA, then I know the goal isn't, USC. I know the goal is never just to win 6 games, but you're somewhat playing with house money from then on against Wisconsin and Iowa. Like, all right, well, we've already achieved the bottom goal. Let's see what we can do from here.
Yeah, for real. I mean, the Wisconsin team, you just don't want to leave it up to the Wisconsin-Iowa battles, because those are, it doesn't matter where Nebraska's at. I mean, we played Wisconsin both years. They were better teams than us. Or no, 21, we were a better team. I mean, that team was just, y'all were talking about it, character, it was the best 39 team of all time.
Yeah.
So, that team had a ridiculous talent. We just could never get it done. But the 22 team, I would say Wisconsin was probably a little bit better than us, just top to bottom. It ends up being 14-15, what lost there. The next year, 23, Wisconsin's having an all right season. Nebraska's struggling still, can't get it done there. And then obviously the Iowa battles. Iowa's sometimes a top 25 team, and Nebraska's, a low tier team, and it ends up being a 1-score game. Like, those games are always going to be tighter. I don't know. It's something. It's not really the trophy aspect, because when you put in Nebraska, it's like Northwestern's a trophy game, Minnesota's a trophy game. I don't think Maryland is. Wisconsin's a trophy game. Iowa's a trophy game. So you got or Michigan State might be a trophy game. I don't know. I mean, the new Michigan battle is like the busting of the bull.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to add that one in, but those type of rivalry games. Anyone in sports, I mean, you go back to Yankees, Red Sox, like Red Sox fan over here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like you go back to those battles, like no matter what caliber. I mean. Of a recent, I should say, no matter what caliber, the Red Sox were at, it was usually closer battles, right? Just because rivalry, just in heightened senses, and heightened, you prepare well for teams, you prepare even for teams, but then there's just a little bit, I don't know, there's a little bit drive throughout the week. And that's what you really, and I think that's what elevates the games. But this SC game is super important. We looked at the percentages. We went from I think it was 78 yesterday percent on ESPN. I know some people don't like this. Mike don't like it, but shoot, it was like 78, and now it's 82.
Oh, we're losing space.
We're losing space.
That happened in the spread too.
Yeah, at 9.5.
Yeah,
9 to 9.5. I'm not sure. And USC is so 4-5. I mean, the only wins they have this year, I believe, is LSU. They beat Utah State pretty comfortably. They dropped the one to Michigan. That would have really changed their whole season. Obviously, they beat Wisconsin, and then they go ahead and beat Rutgers, right? So you have those wins there. But just top to bottom, what USC is dealing with, a new quarterback, a young quarterback at that, coming in for Miller Moss, Lincoln Riley, under fire. You can say what you want about that situation. But then you look at Nebraska's new OC, Dylan Raiola, I would say his game has kind of been a downtrend. But this could be the game to pick everything up. this could definitely be the game to pick everything up.
Let me ask you this, because I think it's interesting. USC's very much struggled in their one-possession games this year. We know about Nebraska's one-possession problems. And then just kind of think about the Wisconsin-Iowa thing. Once you get there, you've lost 8 of 9 to Iowa, 10 in a row to Wisconsin, whatever it might be. How important is this week to avoid the old Frost players mindset conversation for coming up? Because I think if you lose another one-possession game to USC and you have Wisconsin and Iowa left, that's all we'll hear about, and quite frankly, we'll be talking about.
Yeah, and that's why it's be so frustrating. But me and Austin, we be doing the post games after Jay, and it'd be so hard to talk about some of this stuff, because I'm like, man, I remember going to the media and having to say the same old thing every time. Yeah, we fought hard. We just gotta iron up, go back to the details. That's what everyone go back to the details and fix some things up, and we gotta just watch the tape and get better, and like the same old answer. And after every loss, every player gonna say it. But I'll really say that this team has improved. I've seen improvement in that area at the beginning of the year, particularly the Purdue game. Particularly the Rutgers game. You had a chance. Illinois just didn't get it done. But I think this is a really good opportunity to find a way. And I think it's safe to say that each game coming up is going to be tight games. There's not going to be, I don't even think, Nebraska going to get blown out. I think that they're going to be in each of these games. So they're going to have opportunities to conquer that beast, or that bowl game drought.
Interesting stuff. We got plenty more to talk about in an interesting week here in the locker room on 93.7. I think we'll be back right after this.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. We fix basements.
At F Foundation Repair, we've been fixing basements for over 30 years. We're your local foundation repair experts. Our warranties stay here. Our people work here. You can trust us to take care of your home. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you or someone you love struggling with substance use? The Bridge Behavioral Health in Lincoln offers outpatient therapy for those 19 and over. The Bridge is conveniently located in the South Haymarket and near city bus lines. With payment options through insurance and a sliding fee scale, services are available for any adult 19 and over seeking help. Call 402-477-3951 to learn more or schedule your appointment today. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a local substance use treatment facility offering hope and a solid foundation for recovery through substance use treatment and behavioral health interventions.
Davis Plumbing is a locally owned company specializing in a wide range of plumbing services for both commercial and residential customers. Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and has a team of experienced plumbers ready to help you with any project, big or small. Customer satisfaction and peace of mind is their number one priority. So for any commercial or residential project, give Davis Plumbing a call today at 402-525-6922. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
When your home fills up with family, Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Aloe Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Aloe at 866-481-2556 or visit aloefiber.com.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henry's at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds out of the southwest. See a high around 59. Tonight, clear skies and calm winds, low around 35. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and it will be breezy. Afternoon high near 61. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by Ep Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back in the locker room here on a Thursday, getting ready for the Nebraska USC game, a game with a lot of implications for both teams. And we have some Matt Rule audio we can get to here in a second. But of course, I don't want to spoil the big news. But the big news is that our coach said that Dylan Raiola will be able to play, ready to start. And that was a question going into the week. Certainly a different approach if you're Dana Holgorsen, depending on your starting quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is big. This is big. I as a football fan and just like seeing good offenses and like seeing good football, I can't wait to see how they gel together. And me and Mike have talked about it, and I'll just say it for the viewers that weren't here yesterday, is that the philosophy in the Holgorsen play call style is going to be different Satterfield, but it's going to be the same overall plays, right? You know, and they might have implemented maybe, I would say at most 15 plays, at most maybe 10. I'll probably say like 10 plays. But those 10 plays are in the same terminology, with the same formations, maybe just a tweak in a route concept here, in a route concept here. Because what everyone has to understand is that usually, I mean, in most offenses I've been in, you know, every week you're putting in you're really putting in like 3 to 4 new plays or 4 to 5 new plays. So you're just doubling that. You got another bye week to do it, right? So the guy should be well prepared. But to have Dylan Raiola, I mean, imagine if we have Heinrich out there. I mean, now you're kind of, I mean, in a sense, like you're almost better with Satterfield calling the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now you kind of shot yourself in the foot. Like, man, we really need to run the ball with him. Now you got Raiola. It's so crazy. Our backup quarterback and our starting quarterback are so different. I mean, they're night and day. The game you call with Raiola is literally a completely different game with Heinrich. And like as a defense, as USC is like preparing for this game, they're probably waiting like, okay, who's gonna be in here? Because if we got to defend option, QB draw and QB power and QB trap, that's a long day. But even dealing with Raiola and what some could say an air raid offense, we don't really know yet, of course. But yeah, I'm sure we got some audio to play. This is Coach Rule in presser.
Yeah. The Coach Rule from earlier today. Question a lot of people wanted to know, and I want to get your thoughts on: is Will Dana be on the field or in the box? Here's Coach Rule.
Wow. He obviously he's called a lot of games, and the games he called as a head coach, obviously he was always on the field. Probably nowadays, with the new play sheet, new words, it'd be easier to be in the box. But I think he's still working through all that. I think we have a decision, but I don't want to say it in case he changes his mind. Because that's never bothered me. I've always felt like wherever someone feels most comfortable, it's at the end of the day, it's the play call that matters the most. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the field, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the box. We're still working through a little of that.
Okay, my take on this. I would assume he would be on the field. I would assume that. The only reason I would assume that is because you would need your support system with you down there. Because you need someone to tell you, certain signals, like certain, not so much signals, but you just want someone around you that knows the offense, knows the formations, because to pick all this up and, what supposedly is 10 days, we don't know how long he's known the terminology in the playbook, but I would assume he'll be on the field. And either way, Bach, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. But it would be interesting to see who's going to be up in the box and who's going to be down on the field.
And I think it's interesting, as you heard it there, that maybe it's decided, maybe it's not. That just kind of tells you how, all this stuff is moving. Like, I don't know if that question surprised him or, how much of that is just coach speak, but it's like, you don't want to answer like, I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. So I'm not saying he was wrong about it. It's just kind of like, it lets you know how fast this stuff is going. There's a lot for them to kind of think about going into this. Did you ever have a preference for your offensive coordinator? Did you have it both ways?
Yeah, I had Frost was on the field. Whipple. See, the Frost and Whipple thing was interesting. It was kind of like to start off, right? And then obviously Frost gets fired, but to start off, it was kind of, you didn't really know you knew. It was funny, like you knew certain plays were Frost, and then you were like, oh, this is Whipple, right? And it seemed like the first few weeks of 22 season was, Frost, of course, and then Whipple takes over. But Whipple was on the field. Whipple was on the field. My OC, who was before Whipple? Lubick. Mm-hmm. Lubick was up in the box, but Frost called the plays. And then at my former schools, they were both up in the box. And I kind of liked it like that. My personal opinion, because as a player, you get in this like mode where sometimes OCs are like so like hands-on and like so like in-game corrections, and then obviously coaching is done before the game, but it's done during the game. But sometimes OCs they're like offensive geniuses sometimes, so they like, we need this and this, instead of just like your position coaching it up. But what I would love to hear is those headsets. The conversations that go on there. I remember we used to be on the sideline, and coaches would be cursing at each other and whatever, not at Nebraska, and it would happen everywhere, but coaches would curse at each other and whatever, and you'd be like, what is going on that headset? So I can only imagine. I mean, is there like a separate headset you think that goes straight to Raiola? Does he hear all this, or I wonder what it is though.
I don't know. That would be fascinating. Some year they should just record all that and let us let us hear at some point. Here's Coach Will. There's next question. What have you had to do to help speed up the process of installing the new offense?
It's really been for me just being very flexible in terms of like, hey, coach, what do you need? You know, do you need an extra meeting here? Do you need practice this way? Do you need practice there? It's what I've always liked to do. I've never been very rigid with those things. You know, I was liking it to, you know, if you're a golfer and you're struggling off the tee, you don't want to go take a chipping lesson. You want to work on your driver. And so to me, it's always being flexible in the process of what we need, and adapting to Dana and kind of what he needs to get ready. But also then, you know, he's obviously adapted to the situation that he's in. But, you know, a lot of credit to him. I mean, he didn't have to do this. You know, he didn't have to step in at this point. But I think he sees the challenge in it. He also sees the opportunity. And same thing for us. Obviously, it's a little bit of a challenge, but I see a tremendous opportunity here. And I have to be flexible. He has to be flexible. And it's been fun, to be quite honest with you. It's been a great week, really 2 weeks just to make this thing work. So, you know, we'll go out there on Saturday, we'll play. What I'm very sure of is that we'll get better every single day. I think it's a really good setup right now.
I got a few things. I mean, for him to say it's fun, that's awesome. That's what you want to hear. You don't want him to get on the podium and say, man, this has been, you have no idea what, you know, like you don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want that attitude. Now you're like, oh Lord, this is going to be a rough one. Right. But then also I guess I didn't put it into fact, like what Holgorsen's mindset, and like, he didn't have to do this. Like Rule said, obviously, you know, there's money involved. I mean, let's just be real. There's money involved. It's not like he's just working for free, right? You know, everyone needs a paycheck, of course. But you know, at the end of the day, you got to be real confident if you're Holgorsen that you can flip this around. This ain't gonna be a thing where, you know, you just take this job and this is just gonna be not on your record. This is gonna be on your record, right? And as a coach, you want to put good things on your record. The least amount of points he's allowed, or he's not allowed, he scored in an offense is 23.6 a game. And I think we're at 23.7, right? So you don't want these next 3 games. I'm sure everyone has dreams and aspirations. That's how we started the show off. Everyone has dreams and aspirations to, you know, I'm sure he wants to be a head coach again, right? He was just a head coach at Houston. I'm sure he wants to be a head coach somewhere, or an OC that getting paid, you know, $1 million at a Power 5, or, you know, at a Clemson, or you know, at one of those places, right? So you want to put some good on film as well for a coach, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're taking this job, this means, you know, you're going to, in my opinion, you would know you're going to do it. Because this, I'm sure, you know, the offense coordinator job at Nebraska, with the struggles they've had offensively, the 1-score losses, the radical fan base, I'm sure this isn't the most, you know, appetizing job, you know, just most appealing job out there, right? Especially for OC. So I love to hear that. I love to hear that a guy is up to the challenge, and that it sounds like they're working day and night. That's an old soul song, working day and night. I don't know. Anyways, but they sound like they working day and night, literally. And, you know, it's all hands on deck. But I would love to. I want to see him on the sideline. I want to see him on the sideline. I want to see how he interacts with, you know, coach, and, you know, maybe Satterfield comes and whispers in his ear. Like, I want to see those type of things.
He's a fiery personality.
Really?
So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome. I think that would be cool too. It seems like they're saying they're switching up their offensive meetings, you know, practice a little bit, and that's super important. You want to make sure the OC is comfortable, and make sure, you know, the guys are understanding exactly what is expected of this offense. Because if there's an expectation here and an expectation here, and they're not aligned, it's gonna be a long day. So, you know, especially today. Was it today? Third day, right?
Yeah.
Thursday is the full implementation of an offense, right? You should have everything installed. You should have everything, you know, really put into play today. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, especially I just want to see like warm-ups and everything, like how these guys come out. You know, timidness is unacceptable, to be honest.
It certainly be interesting to go through every part of this game, like Husker fans usually do, I suppose, and break down every detail. All right, let's take a quick break. Actually, the $5 Bits of Broken Chair trophy is out there. Maybe we'll bring that on as the guest. I can't speak, but it's beautiful. But it is outside in the 93.7 The Ticket studios. We'll be back with more in the locker room on 93.7 The Ticket.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now that Halloween is over and you're gearing up for Christmas, it's time to head to Tailored Life in Bennett to get ready with local shopping. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of Christmas trees in all different colors. Plus, many other fall and winter holiday items and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3-seed Omaha Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Hey, Ticket listeners, spend your Husker football Saturday at the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, as the Jay Foreman postgame show will be broadcasting live for 90 minutes immediately after the Nebraska-USC football game. Ribeyes are on special for as long as supplies last, with plenty of cold beer on tap to enjoy during and after a Husker victory against the Trojans. It's the Jay Foreman postgame show, live from the P. Dale Pub in Pleasantdale, this Saturday, immediately following the Nebraska football game on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Danielle. Brought to you by F Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here in the locker room on a Thursday talking about Nebraska and USC. And what better way to do that than to listen to Coach Rule and some of his thoughts here. Here's Coach Rule talking about coaching inside the Coliseum.
Yeah, I was there as a graduate assistant at UCLA, and UCLA had beaten USC like 5 times in a row. And it was Pete Carroll's first year. They were maybe struggling a little bit, and then we went there and they beat us. I think it was the second to last game of the year because of 9/11. And then they were off and running. Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience the first time being a head coach there. I mean, it's an iconic place, a lot of history. You know, obviously, the recent passing, I think Coach Robinson just passed, right? So I mean, obviously, there's been great coaches, great players. It's the new world of college football, and it's great to be a part of.
When I think of college football, Bach, or at least when I played, and just fans as well, there's like a couple places you want to go and watch. I mean, for me, I'd love to hear yours. For me, I always want to, like, Texas A&M Stadium. I don't know a lot of the names of them, to be honest with you. Texas A&M, Clemson. I wanted to play at Clemson so bad. I was praying that when I came to Nebraska, we would play Clemson in a bowl game. I always wanted to play at Penn State.
Oh, yeah. A whiteout.
Yeah, cool. A whiteout I thought just would be the most awesome thing. And I fulfilled one of them by playing at Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Big house. I mean, it's like one of those ones where you drive up. I played the smaller version of the big house. Is kind of like Montana, University of Montana, up, the Grizzlies. But when you drive up to the stadium, the top of the stadium is ground level. And it goes down, 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 down. And it's just one of the most iconic places. The energy there, although we got our tails whipped, it was like 33-7 and snowing. And it was just, not a lot of, I would say, like, passion, but just the energy inside there. You could just feel like the greatness inside of there. It was fantastic. But I mean, on my list is USC. I mean, although, people say the fans don't come out and pack the stadium, but I'll say this, the amount of history that's in there, I'll say Texas Stadium as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I played at Oklahoma. So the Oklahoma was up there, but as far as that, I wish, obviously you wish you could play at all these places, and you wish you can, I just want to go to the game. I mean, to be honest, but what are some for you? What are some college football places that you've either been in or wanted to go to?
Well, and I did go to the Coliseum for the spring game a couple years ago. That's where I got my jersey to come and troll people today. But it was a really cool experience, and it's different. Like, and I've been to a couple different places, but most of them Midwest. And so it was different going into the stadium, and there's palm trees inside the stadium. Like,
really?
When you're walking around, yeah, they're just kind of like, well, that's definitely different than Nebraska, so that's not going to happen there.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's
it's cool
amazing
because they've got, they've also got, their giant Heisman jerseys that they do because they don't have the best support as far as attendance at all times. So that's kind of cool and looks iconic. And so, I mean, for anybody going out there, it is cool. You'll notice their upgrade. They could use an upgrade, at least since I've been there. I don't know if they changed it a couple of years. They've got just like one giant screen on one end of the stadium. So it's a little different than Memorial Stadium. You're just so used to like everywhere you turn, there's another big screen you can look at. So it's different. But yeah, I mean, I think my ultimate one would be Georgia, because I want to go.
I forgot about Georgia.
I just always like Georgia. But the other one, as I've heard, the best experience is a night game at LSU. And I
forgot about LSU.
Yeah.
Oh, where you walk up to the on campus, they got the tiger.
Oh yeah,
that's got to be illegal. Yeah. I mean, they're breaking rules over there. I mean, that tiger's depressed. Come on, get the tiger out of there. But no, I mean, it's LSU. Even I've heard the Gamecocks. I've heard South Carolina is absolutely rowdy, like midday games, even night games. But of course, A&M, and we didn't mention Oregon. I mean, I've heard Oregon. One of my friends, Tyler Shuck, he plays at Louisville right now, but he started off Oregon. I remember he backed up Herbert. And so when Herbert went down one game, where he was 2 freshmen, he went in there and, I don't know, Oregon's probably close to 100,000, probably 100,000. They call that what do they call it? Not the 12th man, but they call it something. I forget what Oregon's crowd is called. But he goes in there and just, takes a routine handoff, routine snap, hands the ball off. And he's like, bro, that was crazy. Like, that was ridiculous. But those are the type of environments you want to play in. Although, USC isn't, it's not what everyone, it's not the USC of old. It's not the Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart days, but it's something. And there's some history there. And, for the guys that are seniors, they'll get to be saying, man, I went and played at USC. But tomorrow, I know for sure we're gonna give our picks. We got a bunch of top 25 games, a bunch of filler games in the SEC, and then also some Big Ten games that will kind of determine what's gonna happen moving forward. But yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, big show lined up for tomorrow as we count down to game day. Mikey should be back in studio, so we have a full show on the block coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We